K-Links TV, the leading experience.
Hello viewers, welcome once again to Trending National Issues on K-Links TV. I'm Abimbola Makine, and here with me is Mr. Kayode Olondari.
Glad to be here with you again.
Today, like you can see on the screen, today we are talking about 2023 presidential election, the build-up towards 2023.
It is massive.
Highly massive. The stage is becoming clear. You can see the stage is becoming clear with the emergence of some candidates of some political parties. Like we have in PDP, the major opposition. As the major opposition, the People's Democratic Party has come out with its own presidential candidate.
A former vice president.
Former vice president.
Vice president aspirant before he became former vice president.
Okay, he's a former vice president aspirant. Yeah, we will give you a brief about him because we see one. Let's move on to the massive, let's say, machinations of political parties we have now. Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president of Nigeria, is the candidate of the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate. And we have another person, a former governor of Anambra State, in person of Peter Obi. Peter Obi is a former governor of Anambra State, and he is also a former the running mate of Atiku Abubakar now.
In 2019,
the last election.
So he was a former vice presidential aspirant.
Yeah, he's also. When the two other parties we are expecting, the ruling party itself, the Broom Party, as the All Progressive Congress, they are still doing their in-house, let's say, pash, how to produce their own, come out with a credible...
A consensus.
No, they are not saying consensus. Let's just say APC too is about to come out by Sunday and Monday.
But I understand that this is you about consensus.
We get to that, sir. So by Sunday and Monday, Nigerians will know who will be flying their kite in the presidential election.
By the way, in NMPP.
Yeah, that's where I want to go now. We have NMPP, the New Nigerian People's Party, has come out as the third force.
Fourth force.
How could it be the fourth?
Because we have one for APC already. We have another one for PDP.
That's true.
We have one for Labour. Peter Obi. Now we are coming to NMPP. And between you and me, these three parties challenge the APC.
And we know that. But in NMPP, who are we looking at that could fly the... In APC, we've not talked that way. The belief is that there are two strong contenders, which if they go by the saying they've been saying it, that the power should shift to the south within the APC. A lot of people are looking at the vice president of Nigeria, the incumbent vice president of Nigeria, in person of Pastor Yemi Osinbajo. And also,
former commissioner in Lagos State.
It's former commissioner in Lagos State, and also the national leader of the APC, a former governor of Lagos State, in person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now in NMPP, because the person that really, the progenitor of the party that we know is Rabiu Kwankwaso. Malam Rabiu. Alhaji Rabiu.
What is special about NMPP, if I may come in, is that that party is likely to win Kano State.
How do you mean?
Because, in Kano State today, we have three gladiators there. We have Senator Shekarau. We have incumbent governor Ganduje. And then we have Rabiu Kwankwaso. When Shekarau was in APC with Ganduje, APC won in Kano State. Okay. Now Shekarau has moved to NNPP. And I believe many people see it that way, that it will tilt the northern of power to NNPP in Kano State.
And that's why I said.
You know that in Abga too. I mean Abga, where they have one governor.
They do.
It's a party that has a governor, and this NNPP at least can come out to be another one
major
governor,
party.
One governor party.
One governor party. Why we are looking at Rabiu Kwankwaso as a likely presidential candidate of the party. Now that is where I call Rabiu Kwankwaso as the third force, and the NNPC as the third force. Let's take Atiku, the PDP president that has already emerged. We see that his political movement since he started his political career till now, he has been he has contested the SDP, the Social Democratic Party. In 1992, the presidential primaries, he contested with the late MKO Abiola. He came third. Atiku Abubakar. He came third in 1992. Alhaji Kinjigbe came, no, not Alhaji Kinjigbe came second. Atiku came third. In SDP. Yeah, it's all about that is political profile.
I don't know about that.
After that, Atiku could be referred to as the first to brandish the broom as the presidential candidate of a party. That was Action Congress. When he moved out of the PDP in 2006 towards the 2007 election and became the presidential candidate of Action Congress then he had a romance. There was a political romance with the Southwest, with the likes of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So Atiku's coming into this race is not just yesterday. Now he contested the presidential primaries with the incumbent president. In fact, the President Muhammadu Buhari, then at Lagos State, coming third too. Now this is where we come to the three. I want to go into. I want to ask you what you see about this observation of mine. I could say we have three musketeers now. Atiku Abubakar, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Rabiu Kwankwaso. The three of them started their political career and the same year, in 1992, in the same political association, that's the People's Front, under the leadership of Shehu Musa Yaradua. May soul rest in perfect peace. Now, you find out that ever since
in that election in 1992, Atiku actually became a governor. The governor of Adamawa State.
He was to be a governor before he now went into a presidential election, 1992. He thought there was an agreement, not oral agreement, that he will, because Abiola then did not win. They had to go to the electoral college that you have to do So Atiku now had to support, told his supporters to support Abiola with the agreement that he will be a running mate. But Abiola picked Kinjigbe, who came second. So it's just showing that Atiku has been in this race
for some time.
And Rabiu Kwankwaso and Bola Ahmed, both of them, the three of them have been moving in the same party. Rabiu Kwankwaso was with APC then. He contested the presidential candidate, presidential primaries with, alongside Atiku Abubakar, President Muhammadu Buhari, Rocha Okorocha, and Azan, the publisher of Leadership newspaper. Now we see these three are coming into the presidential race. If Bola Ahmed, he perhaps eventually Bola Ahmed Tinubu becomes a presidential candidate of APC, and Rabiu Kwankwaso emerges NNPP, Atiku Abubakar PDP. Now we have the three musketeers already. How do you see that?
Well, in all sincerity, I think it's a shame that Nigeria is a country that is fond of recycling its leaders, because it seems as if these leaders are never tired, because no one seems to tell them that they are not ashamed of themselves when they have done something wrong, when they have not performed and they have been criticized, have not performed very well. Like Kwankwaso as Minister of Defense in the government of Olusegun Obasanjo was criticized as not accurately performing, a minister. It was a government that many Nigerians have reservations about their performance in those days. And when you look at Atiku too, he was in the same.
I think, Kwankwaso was a governor in Kano, became a governor of Kano, a former governor of Kano.
He's also a former minister of defense.
That to Governor Abi.
So if he had been governor and he had been minister, and he had been a senator, he's not the only man from Kano State.
Okay.
And I think he should just accept that as his own contribution towards the development of the state of Nigeria. Coming out again as president, and I'm not too sure what his chances
of winning.
In this race.
Are you saying his chances of winning, or are you talking about the kind of performance?
I'm talking about both.
Both, okay.
Both his performance in the race and his chances in the race. And even if he eventually emerges as the president, I'm very, very doubtful that we have a good president. The kind of president that most Nigerians are looking forward to. Okay. I don't think Kwankwaso will be able to provide that.
What about Atiku Abubakar?
Well, Atiku Abubakar is like a spent force, if you ask my opinion. I think he has expended himself over the years trying to be in that party, moving to another party. He's a man that have contested in many, many parties. He's romanced so many political gladiators. And if you ask me, as him as somebody who is a spent force, I don't see what exactly he has to offer for Nigeria that people like Buhari hasn't offered. I don't expect much more from him in terms of
performance, moving the country forward. That is going to be different.
Okay. From what we have now.
Now, how about Peter Obi? Let's take Peter Obi before we go to, because Peter Obi is a candidate already.
When you talk about Peter Obi, I think we're talking about a freshman.
He's once a governor.
At this stage. When you're talking about national stage, I think it's fresh. He's just coming. He's never been a minister. He's never been a president.
Not a vice
president. And the closest he had ever been to that is being
a running mate.
So, and when you look at his pedigree, look at his education, he's been a sound technocrat, a successful businessman. No aspersion negative aspersion has ever been cast at his personality that I remember of now.
Okay.
So if you ask me, I think he still has a lot to offer. Nigeria can gain something from a person like that if he can emerge as
the president.
As the president.
Now we have two to talk about. But let's say two because we still have Okorocha in APC that is still contesting, that has gone for a screening and come out of the screen. Despite the fact that he had some.
Well, when you are talking about Okorocha,
with the EFCC,
I have a lot of reservations for him because I remember clearly all these activities when he was governor. Isn't he the governor who tried to make his in-law a successor to him, to himself?
What would that be? Would that be a crime?
It is.
How would that be
quotes.
a crime?
It is in quotes because I feel that he's a man that is power hungry. Seems like that to me. He doesn't
wants to make it a family affair.
He wants to make power in that state a family affair. I mean, at least you should have allowed it to go to another section of the state. For example, I'm sure in that state there are 3 senatorial districts, and he came from one governor for 8 years, and he should have allowed that position to go to another senatorial, and should not be from his own family. To allow other people to benefit from it, and that's the problem we've had in Nigeria. Power is contained within a few families in Nigeria, and that's the reason why even today we have Ajimobi just departed as governor of Oyo State, and you have members of his and his son-in-law both aspiring again for a political position. It seems as if
but me, I don't see anything that's wrong in that. Like I remember, like
I'm not saying it's a crime.
Yeah, but
I'm looking at it from the moral point of view.
And the moral side, that's where I want to contribute to. I want to digress from that aspect because I remember that John J.F. Kennedy, former president of America, when he became the president and he now appointed Robert Kennedy. Robert Kennedy was the Attorney General then, and his brother. I remember there was this criticism by some Americans.
There would be criticism.
And why would it be?
So
brother?
the issue is that there will always be criticism. And criticisms are founded.
Yeah.
They were founded. You can now say that Robert Kennedy performed very well. I won't argue over that one.
But he was assassinated like his brother. And where I want to come in, where I would like to come in is that when he was your brother, he said, is he not an American? He's also an American. He's qualified.
His opinion. That's
his opinion.
But that doesn't mean that those who were raising objection don't have a point.
They do. Now, the same thing you said now goes with and is applicable to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Asiwaju, former governor, senator, now a presidential aspirant. His wife, senator.
Yes.
His daughter, the Aloja of.
That's not a political position.
It's not.
Let's just limit it to his wife.
His wife.
He's been a senator.
His wife is now a senator.
He's now a senator. And between you and I mean, it is what people can criticize him for.
It's open.
People can criticize him for that issue. And yes, a lot of people have brought up the argument that it's not, for the past 20 years, it's not he himself.
He's not in any position.
So it's also his Atiku. But the only thing is, the difference between him and Atiku is that Atiku is always contesting.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu is contesting now.
And always failing.
But it could be an Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln contested for some time. Don't you see that? Before he now became the president.
It's quite different.
How?
This man was vice president for 8 years. And before he became...
But he has never been the president.
It's not only him that has to... I mean, that's exactly what we are saying. If you are vice president for 8 years, and you are telling me there is something you know that is different from what you have been doing in those 8 years, I will look at you and ask you, and in my mind I will be asking questions that, who is this man fooling?
Sir, 8 years as a vice president to me and deputy governors to me, they are like political eunuchs. They are the ones. It's only the governor or the president that gives them the duty.
No, if you are a brilliant vice president,
can you give me one name of a vice president among the Americans that has come out and proven himself as in performance? It has always been.
I don't want to talk about. I mean, it's not. I can give you an example in Nigeria. President Osinbajo had been
a vice president.
Vice President Osinbajo had been a very good.
Now let's come to him. Now he's part of the.
A very intelligent one, and his principal has used him adequately.
Okay.
If he comes to me now and is telling me there is a lot he knows, and he could not use in those 8 years that he wants to use now, I will be skeptical.
Why will you be?
My feeling is this: he's just continuing
the same
government.
Okay, that means he headed the economy, whatever, and was there any...
Which one did he not head? Even the security something.
Did we see any... That's what I want to know. Maybe you...
No. So there is no doubt about his ability. He had, and he has done something, done a lot. Even when the president
wasn't around,
he managed the situation. I mean, and he got the applause of a lot of people. But if he says that he still wants to do anything different now, I will query him that what are the new things you want to do?
But he said like almost all the aspirants in presidential aspirants in APC are saying they will continue the legacy of the incumbent president. That's what they have been saying. None has been saying that. I don't think we have that somebody that could say that this president in my party, the incumbent president, did not do this very well. I have to do it in my own way. I don't have the lever.
I've heard Bola Ahmed Tinubu say that challenge Buhari about the electricity power situation of the country. Okay,
when he talked about
I heard him challenge about the security situation of the country. For people to handle, for somebody who will handle electricity in Nigeria, who will handle the security issue in Nigeria, I think it has to be a new person. It has to be a different person.
A different person.
Okay,
that means we go for... That means Peter Obi could be the new person we are talking about.
Yes, why not? And Bola Ahmed Tinubu also has not been in the presidency before.
He hasn't been, but he had made a lot of people, and the country has not been moving forward according to some people, not according to me. They said he brought Buhari, and then the country has not been moving forward.
Is the opinion,
to them, the way they see it, that's the way they see it.
That is their own opinion that he brought them. You understand? It's their own opinion that he brought them. In my own opinion, you cannot be like there are some people now who are helping him to be president.
Okay.
You cannot be president or governor. It's a position that is big that you cannot
handle
big, yes.
By
your own
supporters.
So you need supporters. Once you get supporters, when somebody support, that doesn't mean that you should not perform.
Yeah, you're right. We are about coming to the end of this program, and we will still come back with this because it's something that is ongoing on, and the intrigues, we are happy we are going to witness a lot of intrigues this time around, which is different from what we've been seeing. Yes. Now I would like to come in because when you were talking about somebody has been in politics, why not try another person? Like Okorocha wants to bring his in-law. Look at it that Bola Ahmed Tinubu too, like Nigerians used to say, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is this, his wife is that, his daughter is this, Ajimobi's son is this. We are practicing presidential system of government here. and which is fashioned after American system of government. Though we are not doing it the way they do it. We are not playing by the rules through federalism. Well, I would say Clinton was a former governor before. He became the president. His wife became a senator too. No, the Secretary of State. She contested the presidential election. Then you have the Kennedys too, Robert Kennedy. You have George Bush Sr., then George Bush Jr. Then you have Ted Bush too. Ted Bush contested under the Republican, the presidential candidate, under the when Hillary Clinton was doing it. Me, I got to see it as if when you have something in the family, it brings the interest of your son. It could be, if I'm a lawyer, you have this great lawyer we have, and erudite lawyer like Femi Falana. His son when he did law, though first is now in music. But you still have that tendency of, if I'm a musician, my son will like to sing. If I'm a lawyer, so we just said it that we will be coming back to this issue, this build up towards 2023 presidential race. Thank you for viewing us today, and we hope you keep on staying with us on K-Links TV. We have other programs, we have sports, and soon we'll be having family issues.
But on trending
national
issues.
Yeah, we are on trending national issues.
It's goodbye from me.